Hello everyone, this is Timothy Mark with Alexandria.
How's everybody doing today?
And we are Tickle Trunk of Horrors. The website is tickletrunkofhorrors.com. And we got a show for you today. We have a paranormal investigator from the UK. And I'm trying to catch my breath right now, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just, so yeah, have a very exciting show today for you folks. We have residential hauntings from Hastings in United Kingdom joining us today. So very exciting show.
Yeah, and Hastings is actually where Aleister Crowley's from. I wrote the book on Aleister Crowley. If you want to go to Amazon and Google Aleister Crowley by Timothy Mark. It's out there, and it's on Barnes & Noble's website as well. I'm having a hard time catching my breath, so if Alexandria wants to go into...
Today, we're going to sort of go into films released on this day in horror history. Today is April 26th, folks. So before we get into our guest, very special guest on today's podcast, Tickle Trunk of Horrors. Today on April 26th, The Mark of the Vampire was released in 1935. Also, The Creature Walks Among Us, 1956. Snake Woman sounds like something that I'd be interested in. I haven't seen this horror movie. I have a passion and a love of snakes. Snake Woman, 1961. Jason X, 2002. Song of the Dead, 2005. And Wicked Lake, 2008. And I was looking at different movie posters as well, and the poster of The Creature Walks Among Us in 1956. I really love these old horror posters, and very, very wonderful. They're so vivid, they're so colorful, and they have the creature on there, and then they have kind of taglines like this one, "A city screams in terror," and you have the monster hoisting up either a young man or a young woman, and then you have people shrieking or hovering in great fear. So it also says all new underwater thrills. So very, very awesome in regards to the old movie posters in regards to horror. So those were the really classical days of horror, folks.
Yes. Yeah. Jason X was released, huh? That's the 10th movie in the Friday the 13th franchise.
I thought that would get your attention.
Yeah. That's, folks, I'm having a hard time breathing today, so I don't know how much talking I'm going to be doing.
Well, just, take a breath. We don't want you to pass out during the podcast, so take a deep breath. And, I don't want to end up in the middle of having our guest, you laying on the floor and having to do CPR. Yeah. You never know, folks. This could be a more exciting podcast than we had hoped. But we're going to hang tight, and we're going to let Timothy kind of catch his breath. And like I said, there's no rush, so we're going to go into, again, more of what we were talking about in regards to our guest, residential haunting from Hastings. And you know what, folks, that's what it's really, really all about. We've mentioned on several podcasts that it's very, very important to kind of be kindred or be with other paranormal investigation teams, because we can only learn and we can only be in better investigators when we kind of glean from some knowledge, glean from maybe tips from other paranormal researchers. And it's nothing to really shun away from, because we could only be the better for it. And I think it's very, very interesting that we're able to extend the I would say the sage branch up to other paranormal groups. And I know the terminology is usually the olive branch, but we are paranormal researchers in the spiritual realm. We use sage. So I like to say we would like to extend the sage branch to all paranormal groups around the world, so we can collaborate, work together, share ideas, share knowledge, share evidence. I think it's very important.
I think it's important too that when people are faking footage, faking EVPs, keep in mind I've been doing this for 10 years. Alexandria's been doing it for 30. When you send me something that you say is an EVP, and I can clearly hear breathing, you know, it's there's a problem there. So there's too many people out there in the industry that's faking it, and they're making legit companies like ours and other legit companies look bad.
And you know, what we always tell our fans and always our listeners as well too is that, you know what, if we do an investigation or if we do something and we don't catch evidence, we're going to tell you straight up there's no evidence, or there was no evidence. And you know what, everybody that is a true legit in the paranormal investigation will tell you that it's not called dial up a ghost, folks. We cannot make spirits, entities, orbs, light, anomalies kind of show up on command. It's not an on-demand service. You know, it's just whether the spirits, the hauntings, or whatever they want to come out and communicate with us. There, you know, we can't provocate or on-demand tell them to come out. It's up to them.
Although our company, World Paranormal Research Society, has caught the best evidence out there, period. I don't know no other company that has a goat man on film. I don't know no other company that has an interdimensional traveler on film. That's just us. I
mean, we're just telling you a fact, and it's a fact that we caught these particular entities on investigations, and they're really as clear as day. And I mean, we did a recent investigation in our mobile command, and you know, the activity that was here just after Timothy had slightly turned the camera on was just mind-blowing. And I mean, that's just evidence. There is a difference between dust, insects, and, as they call them now, light anomalies.
Light anomalies. Yeah, I had a guy not too long ago ask me what he thought about his real footage. And you know, it's different when you have something that you can see that is solid and it's flapping fucking wings. That's probably not a ghost. It's a little moth. And so when you think it to be something else.
And no, he didn't capture the Mothman on
no,
an investigation.
No, it wasn't a moth. It was actually a little bug. And he's like, oh man, this is awesome. But I mean, you know, we don't like dealing with people that are full of shit. And, you know, so if we find you to be full of shit, then we won't have you on the show.
And so, I mean, we're seasoned investigators, meaning that, you know what, if you have years of experience under your belt, you can clearly, I mean, the first thing or first order of business is you really have to learn the difference between insects, any kind of other kind of dust, bugs, and an orb, as they like to say.
Yeah, even in a lot of the footages we did, I mean, we've caught real ghosts, but around the real ghosts would be, you could catch the little insects, and you could tell the difference between the two. There's people catching insects, and they don't realize that once, even though if you cut on an infrared camera or whatever it may be, or if you're using a night vision camera that's got real light, then the thing is, bugs are going to be attracted to it. And so if it's flapping wings and it's solid and you can see through it, it's a damn moth, man. I mean, that shit trips me out.
Well, you know what? Some people, I mean, they may have good intentions at heart, but
no, they got bad intentions. They want to jump into the paranormal field, and they want to, in the paranormal field, they want to spread bullshit, which makes legit companies like ours look bad because people are doing bullshit.
Yeah, I think when people are starting to orchestrate these farces, I mean, it's really sad. I mean, if you're not in paranormal research or working in the world of spirit for the right reason, please don't do it.
And if you can hear, if you present me with an EVP where I can clearly hear breathing, then guess what? You're not going to be on this show, because that's if somebody's saying like, I mean, come on, man. You can hear the breathing. Spirits don't have lungs. So.
We don't need to have heavy breathers on the show trying to...
I'm the only heavy breather here.
Other than Timothy not being able to breathe today. But, I mean, please, you know, we don't want to scam or sham our viewers, our listeners on our videos and podcasts, and our fans and clients that truly depend on us to really sincerely help. And you know what? Helping your clients by putting fraudulent things, you're not doing them any service, and you're in the wrong business, please. This isn't a horror movie. This is real life, folks, please.
So our special guest today is going to be Ian Ian Varrow.
Ian Varrow.
And he's in the UK. And so let me try to give him a call right now and see what's going on. See if we can't get him on the phone. All right.
And for everybody, while Timothy is trying to get Ian on the phone, they have a website, residentialhaunting.co.uk, and on their website it says, "We are here to believe."
Hello, Ian? Hello?
Hello?
Is this Ian? Ian?
Yes.
How you doing? This is the Tickle Trunk of Horrors. I'm having a bit of a hard time hearing you here. Yeah, I'm trying to get the phone to comply. Let's see. Can you say something? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, let me try to reconnect with you, okay? Hold on for 1 second. We're having a bad connection.
Just a bad connection. He is over the pond.
Yeah, he is in the UK, so I can't really...
bear with us.
That's Ian. And we're trying to reach out to him. This is kind of sucking right now.
But while Timothy is trying to reach out, what I was trying to say is on their website, they have a statement, "We are here to believe what you are experiencing and to help you." So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Hey, Ian?
Hello?
Yeah, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. You?
I'm okay. I'm just, we having a bad connection over here. You know what? If you would send me your a different number, I'll try to call you back in that way, because I'm having a bad connection right now. Can you send me the home phone? And I'll give you a call back.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, we're having we're trying to do internet call here, because he is in the UK. But what I'm going to do is actually call him on the landline.
So sometimes technology isn't as great as we think it is, and we just have to bear with the possibilities of dealing with connections. And he is in Hastings, UK, so sometimes there are connection problems, but we look forward to having Ian joining us on this show very, very soon. And as Timothy,
I'm working on it.
Timothy's working on that. I'm kind of really excited too, because I am a historian, and to have an investigation team that is in Hastings, close by the Battle of Hastings, is very exciting for me as well. That would be a location, almost a dream location, to be able to have somebody that close. And if all of you are not aware, the Battle of Hastings took place in 1066. So waiting.
And that's where King Harold was killed. Apparently, that's what he's sending me another number right now, the landline number. We're going to try to make that work. But again, we're going all the way to the UK for this call. So
just hang tight, and I'll give everybody sort of a brief rundown on the Battle of Hastings. So the Battle of Hastings was fought October 14th. 1066, and this actually was the battle between the Norman French army of William the Duke of Normandy, which is William the Conqueror, and the English army under the Anglo-Saxon King Harold Godwinson. And this really began the Norman conquest of England. And
let me try this number right here.
He's going to try to reach him.
I don't know if I can, but we're going to try.
We're going to give it a try, everybody, and hang tight. And here we go.
Hello.
Hey, Ian, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad.
You doing okay? This is the Tickle Trunk of Horror show, and we with Ian Varrow from Residential Hauntings, and I think now we got a clear connection with you.
Sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Welcome to the show.
Hey.
Yeah, welcome to the show, Ian. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so you're a paranormal researcher over there in the UK. Can you give our audience a little bit of how long you've been doing paranormal research?
Well, I've been investigating probably about 15 years now. Had the team together about 6 years. So we're a private case team, so we get called into people's houses, so we're not the usual run-of-the-mill investigators.
Yeah.
But,
well, you over there in Hastings, England. And,
correct, yep.
That's where Aleister Crowley's from. Is there a lot of people over there that have, like, Aleister Crowley holidays and stuff like that?
No, not really, but we've got a local bar's just opened up called Crowley's Bar, so he's quite a well-known person in the area.
Oh, okay, that sounds pretty awesome. Can you go?
When you say that you do a lot of the majority of your investigations in people's private dwelling, do you find, like, how do you find out about these particular homes? Do you like, is it word of mouth, or how does the word get out if somebody wanted? How would they look you up? Maybe is a better wording, if they had some kind of situation or unknown situation happening at their home.
Well, a lot of people, it's word of mouth, passed on from past clients. They can get hold of us also on Twitter, Facebook, our website as well, residentialhaunting.co.uk. They can message us through that, but most of our cases come through word of mouth, so...
That's pretty good, because that means, I mean, word of mouth in not just the paranormal business, but word of mouth really in any business can make or break a lot of people. And, you know, that I think that's great when, you know, word of mouth is that good that you can maintain clients to do the work that you love.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Can you tell us one of the craziest cases that you had?
Oh, one of the craziest case we ever had. A family got hold of us. They had a lot of activity around the kids, and it got to the point where the 16-year-old son woke up in the night because somebody stroked his face, and he woke up and there was nobody there. When we were around there, they had the heating on full, and downstairs was almost tropical. But you walked upstairs, as soon as you got to the top floor level, it was ice cold throughout the whole top floor. And you go and put your hand on a radiator, it was roasting hot, but an inch away you couldn't feel it. That was a very bizarre case. Turns out that at some point in time there'd been a workhouse there.
Right.
With children, so we had quite a lot of spirits there to get rid of.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. I notice residential hauntings, like you said, you do a lot of private cases, so you're really not out there just to promote the company or anything like that. You're just out there to really help families that are in need, correct?
Oh yeah, exactly. That's the whole reason we're all into it. I mean, everyone in the team's had their own personal experiences, and it's basically we're in it to help people that are going through what we have done in the past. So.
And what I found fascinating was when I was looking at your website, the thing that you have right across on your website is it says, "We are here to believe what you are experiencing and to help you." And I think the key word in that statement to me is believe. And a lot of people, when they are maybe scared to call a paranormal investigator because they think they'll be mocked or they'll be laughed about, and I thought that was, I really like that. The first thing that somebody sees when they go to your website is that statement, and I think it kind of would ease a client's mind that they've maybe made the right decision to call your team in to help them out. And I thought it was very sincere, and I thought it was a great way to maybe, as they say, break the ice in the paranormal world.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, at the end of the day, whatever the client's experience, whether it be paranormal or not, you've got to, trust in what they're telling you and then find a reason for it. So, whether it is paranormal or not, you've still got to, trust in what they're telling you.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question. For the people that live over here in America, could you describe like Hastings over there, the culture for our listeners?
Yeah, Hastings is a very old fishing community. Originally was just the old town of Hastings, which mainly was a fishing industry. Famous for the Battle of 1066. All the buildings are still quite fairly old in the original part. It's also known for the smugglers. There's quite a lot of caves and underground tunnels that the smugglers used to use to get contraband in. So it's quite a very small seaside town, really.
Has there been like a lot of homicides over there or anything of that nature?
Yeah, we get quite a few. I mean, at one time we were called the murder capital of the southeast, but
wow.
It's not so bad now. But there's maybe the odd one here and there. But there was a time when it was quite well known for it.
And I know too, when you're mentioning coast by the seaside there and underground tunnels, and the first thing that comes to my mind is, well, I've been to England and my family's from Scotland, but the first thing that would come to my mind would be highwaymen. Is that people from the sea, and then you'd have notorious highwaymen that would rob and fleece people of their wares. And for some reason, I think of the movie The Barber of Fleet Street, Sweeney Todd or whatever, and but in the way of the highwaymen and having the goods close to the sea.
Yeah, I mean, you go in country a bit, and there is a lot of hauntings from highwaymen and such like. There's a village not so far from here, which is called Pluckley, which is supposed to be the most haunted village in the UK, but that's got a headless highwayman that haunts the main street, apparently.
Wow. And I also read, being a historian myself, I read up a lot about history, and I read somewhere that they said this was in due to the Battle of Hastings, that it said that the bodies of the English dead were left on the battlefield, and then a lot of the Norman dead were buried in a large communal grave. And it said at one point, I don't know if it's true, they still don't know, or the communal grave site of the Normans still haven't been found. So I thought that would be quite interesting to explore, even if you're familiar with using dowsing rods at all.
Yeah. No, as far as I'm aware, it hasn't been found. But they say there's bodies strewn all over the area from the battle, so there's probably one every couple of meters, I expect.
Right.
At some point.
What type of equipment do you use when you go on a paranormal investigation?
Oh, we've got the usual stuff: K2, geophones, thermal imagers. Got some full spectrum GoPro cameras, which are really handy. Yeah, all the usual stuff, that you would see on the TV. We've got quite a bit of it. And our mediums, of course, which get us more information than most.
So you being a medium, does that mean that you let people come into your body?
I'm personally not a medium, but we have two mediums.
Oh, you have two mediums. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, one of them has been known to do that, yes. He doesn't like doing it very often, but sometimes you have to resolve the issue. So.
Do y'all use Ouija boards at all?
No, we don't.
No Ouija boards?
Although I have done a documentary recently for another team involving Ouija boards. So.
Oh, okay.
How is there? I know a lot of paranormal teams, maybe in America or in North America, go to a lot of paracons, they call them, or different spiritual conventions. Is there one in your particular area that you go to, or you could recommend to somebody that's traveling there to attend? Or I think there's one coming up, isn't it? Is it October or November in your area? I may stand corrected.
Yeah, Sage Paracon, yeah, we went to that last year, we're going this year. That's a very good convention, it's over 4 days this year.
Wow.
last year we did Warwick Castle. We were there for the weekend.
That sounds awesome.
And we had John Zaffis and Brian J. Cano over, so it was good investigating with them.
Yeah, because they've been in the business, or they've been in the field for a very, very long time. That would be really exciting. Have you or any one of your team ever come to North America to do any investigations or anything, or would you like to come to North America to do investigations?
We haven't done, but we'd love to get to America at some point. I speak to Keith Linder quite a lot on Twitter, the guy that owns the Demons in Seattle house.
Wow.
It'd be nice to go over and get into that place.
Absolutely.
So do y'all catch a lot of EVPs during your investigations?
Yeah, we get a fair few. Surprisingly enough, it's usually our cameras that get them more than our EVP recorders.
Yeah. That's So what was the do you recall the last EVP you captured?
Oh, the last one I captured. We had a good one we did a joint investigation with actually the team that runs Sage Paranormal.
Right.
We did in the True Crime Museum in Hastings. And we actually got a little girl shouting "Mama" so loud that everybody stopped because we all heard it. So
Wow.
I think every bit of equipment in there caught that.
That is awesome. Have you encountered anything demonic in your investigations?
We've come across a couple of things that seem that way, yeah, whether they were fully or not, we're 100% sure, but they were either demonic or very nasty, one of the two.
Right. I think for me as a historian, I think to be within close proximity to where the Battle of Hastings took place, I think I would, and I'm an empath myself. I think even the impressions or vibrations would be completely overpowering, and I think I'd be just walking around and just seeing people that have passed over 24/7.
Yeah.
Hey,
we do training sessions in our local cemetery, and probably due to the fact of Aleister Crowley, but he did curse the town, but our cemetery is quite active compared to most, so yeah, you probably would pick up a lot if you came to the town.
Hey, you say Crowley cursed the town. Have you got an opportunity to do any of the places where Crowley actually lived?
Yeah, his house is 5 minutes up the road from where I live, so...
Wow.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
That would totally be amazing. I mean, so many people read negative things about Aleister Crowley, but I mean, in my mind, I think he was a genius sort of in his own right with some of the philosophies that he was trying to bring out to the world. I mean, he may have gone about it maybe way off the deep end, but I think in his own right, he was a genius in, his thought process. And I myself, have his Thoth tarot deck, and just to look at the pictures that he sort of dictated or kind of had Lady Frida Harris kind of draw up or paint was it was almost like the mastermind, and in spite of the bad rap, I think he was a genius. I mean, that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean, he certainly did a lot of good things. He brought a lot of things to the forefront of people's minds. I mean, probably the paranormal field wouldn't be where it is if, there's certain things he hadn't brought to premonition or whatever. But yeah, he just seemed to turn a bit dark side near the end, didn't he? Which is why basically the town turned against him, and he cursed the town. So that's basically how that occurred.
Is he buried out there?
No, they refused. He was cremated, and they refused to do it here. They sent him to the next town.
Wow.
Apparently, his ashes are under an oak tree in a special place. I think the location's kept pretty quiet, but.
Wow. And I noticed on your website too. It says that you're a non-profit, and I know not every paranormal investigation team stresses that they're a non-profit, or is that just in something in the UK that you have to indicate on your website? If you could maybe explain that to some of our fans that aren't familiar with teams in the UK.
Yeah, we don't charge our clients at all. you know, every now and again one will make a donation, but we certainly don't walk in and say, right, you've got to pay us a bill. We don't charge at all, and it's pretty much in the UK frowned upon if you do charge your private clients. So,
have you ever been
over here?
That's just in the UK. Yeah, that's good for the people to know, because you know, most people, even in America or in Canada, don't charge, or they may take a donation, which kind of makes sense. Maybe a donation for some people do it for equipment, some people do it for an animal rescue or whatever it is. And I had a question too about do you ever participate on any kind of ghost walks? Because I know, especially in Scotland, in Edinburgh, there's a lot of, there's tons and tons of ghost walks, and people make, a fair bit of profit on that. But have you ever participated or been asked to participate in a ghost walk at all?
No, we haven't done anything like that. We do joint investigations with other teams at venues, but no, we don't do anything for profit at all. So.
What is your future plans for the company?
Pretty much to keep doing what we're doing. The more people we can help, the better the situation gets. So that's the main plan on our minds. We're not really interested in fame and fortune. It's just helping people's the main aim.
Yeah. What's your advice to anybody that wants to get into the paranormal field?
I would go on, go on an organised event, see if you really like it. The amount of people I know that have tried it and realised it petrifies them. I would give it a go at some sort of organised event, see if it's your thing, and then just maybe find places that are known as being active and see what you can get. Start off small.
Right. Have you ever had any maybe people that have tagged along on your investigations that were maybe curious, or because I know we have fans asking us a lot of times that they want to participate in our investigations, or is that something that you would frown upon or not see as something you'd like to get into?
We actually take people along to organise when we're doing joint investigations at a public place. We'll take people along. That's fine. I mean, but going into someone's house, we won't.
Right.
It's fine. We have no problem if people have an interest. If we're going to an organised event, then they're welcome to come along.
Let's hit on a little bit of the culture over there. Is in where you at in Hastings? Like, what's the #1 fast food place over there?
Oh, probably McDonald's, I expect.
McDonald's. Okay, right on. Well, there you go. What about the beer? What's the #1 beer over there?
Oh, blimey. Hard to say, really. I'm not really a drinker myself, but
yeah.
I used to drink Beck's when I was.
It's I know that Alexandria's been talking about going to England, so we'll probably end up over there at some point, but
yeah, I mean, I've like I said, being from Scotland, I mean, I took my sons through England because I wanted to go. We went to, the usual Stonehenge, and we went to different places like Bath and stuff on our way to Scotland. But, I'm very intrigued with Hastings, and we did make a short stop in York as well. But I think with the history in regards to Hastings, I think it would be a place, well worth people to come and just see, and, the history that is just a long, long history.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's definitely steeped with history, that's for sure.
And I had a question.
And there's quite a few castles and that in close proximity to Hastings as well, so you don't have to go that far to see more. So,
now, is the castles occupied or are they empty?
Some of them are, but they're all open to the public. So.
Wow. And I had a question too. If there could be one place in the entire world that if somebody said to you, okay, you and your team can investigate this place and just have the full run of the place, what would be maybe the one place that if you'd go and investigate given that opportunity?
Oh, Waverly Hills Sanitarium is on the top of my list.
Could you, you know what, I've heard so much of that. There's been documentaries about that. Is there a reason, or is just something that spikes your interest in regards to just the vibe of the place?
Yeah, the place it's just so big, and everyone that seems to go there seems to get activity. So, you know, it's a place that big with so much going on in it throughout the years. I mean, it'd be the perfect place to hopefully get some evidence.
Well, Ian, we're gonna have to wrap up the call. Is there anything that you want to promote? Like, if people want to get in touch with you, they can just go to your website?
Yes, I can. Yeah, it's www.residentialhauntings.co.uk. Okay.
Well, we appreciate you being a guest today, and when this podcast is over, I'll send you the appropriate links, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Bye.
And you. Yeah.
So,
that was awesome to have a paranormal or an individual Ian representing residential haunting in Hastings, the UK. I mean, I'm just almost like salivating at the mouth here, just the amount of history in that place, and everything is in walking proximity where you can find so much more.
Well, I don't know what the cost of the call would be because I called directly over there. So I have no idea what the minutes cost would be. I have no clue. So that's why I wrapped up the call early. So, but Ian was nice enough to appear as a guest on the show. Unfortunately, the internet call thing did not go through. So,
but they are 6 hours ahead of us. So in the UK, they're 6 hours ahead of us. So it is now 8:22 there, and so we appreciate him taking time out of his day to speak with us in regards to, you know, a paranormal team in Hastings, UK, how they do things, how they gain clients.
He said there was an Aleister Crowley bar that just opened up.
Right, and you know, very interesting that he told us that Aleister Crowley did curse the town, and when it was time for him, he was cremated. The town did not want his ashes. So being, you know, I find that very interesting. I mean, he's buried under an oak tree somewhere in a secret location, and you know, just the history, folks, that's in that area, and really all areas in the UK and Scotland. It would just be, for an empath as me, be completely mind-blowing. I know when I was in Scotland, it was overwhelming a lot of times, just the residual energy from the history, and how old the inhabitants' civilization has been on the British Isles. Just overwhelming. But again, like we always like to stress, we gleam on getting ideas and different information from other paranormal teams out there. And again, we always extend the sage branch to everybody out there, and we're hoping to have many other paranormal teams in the coming days, and other guests in regards to horror, the paranormal, spirituality, supernatural. There's just so many topics and guests that we will be bringing to you, and music as well, because let's don't forget that there's horror music, supernatural, spiritual music, very even metal music has a tinge of horror and the supernatural. So looking forward to bringing musical guests as well, and it's just refreshing to have somebody sort of doing the right thing with their business.
Well, there's a lot of people that do the right thing, but what people don't understand too is, okay, let's say you go to a paranormal haunted location, somebody wants you to come there and you do the investigation. That's one thing. But let's say that somebody wants you to turn into a documentary for them. That's a whole different ball game. Like if somebody comes for an investigation and they say, okay, we're going to help you with a haunting, that's one issue. But if you want it to be in a documentary, you need to expect to pay.
Right, and I mean that's a whole different ball game in itself, and I mean that's something completely different. And you know what? There's just so many things going on in this world and the different dimensions of the world, and like I said, it's a topic that will never run out, folks. Never run out.
So Hastings, England.
very, very, I'm just very intrigued, very close proximity to the Battle of Hastings, and the thing that intrigued me is having even Ian confirmed that the Norman dead that were buried in that large communal grave, even to this day, that grave site has not been found. And I even mentioned if somebody was to go there with dowsing rods, I mean, can you imagine what a find that would be? And apparently there's close to the battle site as well, there's a battle abbey, and William the Conqueror built a wooden moat and a bailey castle, which was used as a resting place for his army before heading north to face King Harold at Hastings. And a lot of people have made reference to, instead of you would think the first thing that you would pick up is spirits in regards to soldiers, but unfortunately the most sightings have been of monks, and that's recording in regards to monks and not spirituals, beings of soldiers. And Timothy's got something pulled up for all of you.
The English town became a huge conflict. Yeah. Till Harold took it, the Earl of West End. Yeah. Battle of Hastings. Tapestry. Its length in meters measure 70. Embroidered linen tells a story. The feats of William, Duke of Normandy. Battle of Hastings. So girl. No men in vision. But feudalism. No men in vision. But feudalism. No men in vision. But feudalism.
I heard that on the Battle of Hastings.
Battle of Hastings, yeah.
Who's that by? That's awesome.
Well, that's called History Teachers, and what history teachers are doing on YouTube is they're taking pop songs, and for their students, they're turning them into history lessons.
That's awesome.
So that was a group of history teachers singing the song for William the Conqueror, but they was using the song Sexy Back by Justin Timberlake. So that's a good way to teach students. Actually.
You know what? That's a good way for students to retain knowledge, is by teaching them by a way that is completely hip and out there, and I commend those teachers right on. And the Battle of Hastings again, and I even heard in the song they mentioned the Bayeux tapestry, and the Bayeux tapestry actually is a famous tapestry that depicts the battle and also the death of King Harold. And very, very fascinating time in English history, where and then we also know that it was a decisive Norman victory. There came William the Conqueror, and a very exciting time, the Battle of Hastings, 1066, and very amazing.
And actually, that's how the song starts off. They give the date, which is awesome. And so, yeah, I definitely think that if you go to YouTube and you want to hear some history stuff, check out History Teachers.
And, again, William the Conqueror, he founded a monastery at the site of the battle, and hence why a lot of people have seen supernatural visions of monks and not soldiers. And even Ian said that soldiers are probably in the ground every couple of meters, because they were the English dead were actually left on the battlefield, and only families and relatives picked up the bodies. So there would be bodies all over the place. I mean, there would just be people, undead people, or not undead, but people that have passed on, just walking all over. And then we have Aleister Crowley. I mean, oh my God, it's a hotbed of activity. What a great place for a paranormal team to be situated. And they again are Residential Haunting in Hastings, England. Their website,
but that was again, Ian Varrow,
who is a member of Residential Haunting.
Very nice guy to take time to be on our show.
And again, I like their tagline on their website: "We are here to believe what you are experiencing and to help you." That's what it's all about, folks. And if you're not in it for that reason, don't be in it. It's as simple as that, because this isn't a TV show where you're wearing sunglasses. You are trying to help people and seek answers, folks. That's what it's really all about. And working with spirit is what it's for, and it's to help people.
Well, yeah, it's just to get rid of demonic activity, and in some cases you can lose your own life doing that, because if you look at the paranormal couple, Castanino, the man and woman that was on Ghost Adventurer's crew, he ended up shooting the woman, and then he killed himself. So yeah, we
don't know. I mean, that could be, you pick up hang on people that people that cling on to you, entities that cling on to you, and the effects could be years later. They could be instantaneously if you are not protected. It is the hazard of the job, folks. It's the way it is. And I mean, some people, if you're not protecting yourself, we always protect. But I mean, it is a hazard of putting your life on the line, trying to help people that have nowhere else to turn, folks. So it is a life, and it is a calling, and it's not a calling for everybody, and it's not the glamour as a TV show, and it's real life, folks, and it's extremely.
There's some people that are doing
dangerous.
this just so they think that they can do a TV show and to get famous. That's the wrong reason to do it, and I know one person in particular who's just striving to do that. It's the wrong reason to do it. The right reason to do it is to help people, like Alexandria was saying.
If you have a gift, I'm an empath. It is my responsibility to, when you're given a gift, you should give back. I mean, the gift is not to be selfishly hoarded or to make profit off of the gift. It is to help others that are lost and are seeking answers as well. And it can be a curse at times and a gift, but you've got to embrace the good and the bad, like the yin and the yang, and just help people and do what you can. And I mean, it's a job well done if you can walk away having the satisfaction that you've given somebody peace of mind and you've truly helped them. And there's so many people with the horrors in today's world that are completely lost. They're not sure of their own identities, where they're going, where their life is going, and sometimes just listening to them and hearing them out makes all the difference. And hauntings are real, ghosts are real, spirits are real. There are good and there is negative. That's just the fact of it, and you have to embrace both, and you have to be prepared to battle the good and the evil.
And you don't want to do this, like I said, just for trying to get famous or something like that. That's bullshit.
You may end up losing your life.
Yeah, and it is work. And so people need to appreciate the fact that people go into these homes and it's work, because you don't have electricity on. You don't, like we did locations we were doing locations in the summer, June and July.
The heat.
I'm talking about with no electricity or nothing on, so your shoes are filling up from the sweat from your balls. And that's work. When your balls are dripping so much sweat because of the heat, that's actually work.
And also, one of the locations that we were dealing with a home that had actually mold conditions in there, and we were at this place for quite a while.
That's because the people themselves were nasty as fuck.
No, there had been a flooding situation prior to that, and it was very hot, and we're trying to help the family. We decided to stay on location, and very unsanitary conditions with the mold. Very
unsanitary conditions, and we did numerous places that had floods in it, and we're not naming no names. So for those of you who are what you call it, lawsuit whores, guess what? We're not naming your name, but you probably do know who you are, and hopefully you got some cleanliness about you and you learn how to fucking clean up your house.
And I mean, this isn't a business, or this isn't a line of work that you're going to be wearing stiletto high heel shoes because you're working in the dark. So, this is real life, folks. And like I said, this is something that we do. We live and breathe this every day. This is not a business for us. We're here to help people and to seek answers, and that's really what it's all about. And again, we are Tickle Trunk of Horrors. Very pleased with our website, tickletrunkofhorrors.com. We have our books on there. We're going to have all of our products. We're going to have our podcast. And, you know, so far, we've been very blessed to have so many different guests joining us, giving us different perspectives, different takes on things. Very refreshing to have a team from across the pond today. There's so many people. We're all doing the same thing, but we may have different methods and different ways that we do it. And Ian made mention that he would like to go to Waverly Sanitarium as a place he would like to visit. And I know a lot of you out there probably have a spot that you would like to investigate, a dream spot. But really, any place can be a dream spot if you really open your third eye to the paranormal beauty that is truly around you.
Waverly Sanitarium's been done to death. For those people who keep redoing it and redoing it and redoing it, please stop filming this shit and get some new material. Are you so afraid that you can't find ghosts anywhere else? We already know Waverly Sanitarium is haunted. And for somebody from the UK, which Ian, he wants to go over there, and that's his American place, that he wants to check out, that's perfectly fine. But you have these teams over there that all they want to do is do the same location over and over and over again. And I mean, come on, it's repetitive. It's not originality, and it sucks. If you live in the USA and you're a paranormal team, and all you want to do is Waverly Sanitarium, then you a bitch. Go ahead.
Okay, I don't think I can elaborate on more than that. I don't think I would have been that strongly about that, but you know what? I just think that everybody has their own kind of place that they like to visit, and I like to do things that are off the beaten path, and I think it's very important.
Yeah, and I think that you should get new places and stuff like that. Again, for people that don't live in the USA, who's heard of Waverly Sanitarium, and they want to come over here and do that, that's perfectly fine. But there is these group of paranormal researchers that all they do is go to Waverly Sanitarium. They don't learn a fucking thing. And so all they do is go there and they capture something. They have no originality. And it's been done to death. It's a place, actually, Waverly Sanitarium is a place that I will never do.
I'd prefer to go to places that are off the beaten path, because there's more chances of capturing something that is, that has not been seen before. So that, I prefer, because there's really spirits, apparitions, there's entities all around us 24 hours a day, and you really don't have to go far. All you have to do is really be open to it and be open to your surroundings, because spirits, magic, and everything are all around us 24 hours a day. So again, thank you to our guests.
And they are around us all the time, because we have true skills. We have the ability to go into any location and capture, actually every location that we've been in, we've captured evidence, the best evidence I think of anybody out there. And so if you look at the fact that we're the only team to catch the goat man, we're the only team to catch the interdimensional traveler, that's not all we do. Look at the other investigations. Yeah, we got EVPs, and no, they're not going, but in the EVPs, like some jackass is recording in the background with some fraudulent bullshit. I don't know of any EVPs I caught where there was a resemblance that the spirit had fucking lungs.
Well, we're really trying to catch spirits. We're not trying to catch maybe their residue of a porno film or anything like that.
Somebody sent me an EVP. I'm not going to say what it is, but in the EVP, you could actually fucking hear the dude who's faking this shit breathing. I mean, get the fuck out of here.
I think we'll end the podcast on that note.
And you know who you are, and you're a bitch. And I'm pretty sure you're going to listen to this.
Okay, I don't believe in calling people names. There's people that are trying to defraud people, and
anybody who's fraudulent in the industry is nothing but bitches to me, because you take and you destroy what real companies are trying to do. Like what Residential Hauntings, they're a real company. Detroit Paranormal Expeditions is a real company. World Paranormal Research Society is a real company. But then you have these people out there who submitting fraudulent evidence because they're doing it for the wrong fucking reasons. If you go into a location and you do not catch anything, it's okay. eventually you'll catch something. We don't have that problem. Every location we go into, guess what? We catch something.
So yeah, you know, I don't appreciate people defrauding people or assuming people out there are stupid by not knowing the difference. So you know what, you're very disappointed that.
Stop sending us bullshit, fraudulent evidence. Please stop sending us that.
Yeah, we would appreciate if you can't be the real deal. We'd rather not associate with you because, I mean, we're not here to defraud people. We're not here to be fraudulent in any shape or form. It's just very disheartening when we have people that continue to sham people, really, really poor form. And if you're going to do it, just please don't associate with us. We'd rather not be associated with you.
And the whole thing is these people do this. And when they do this, they're probably too scared to actually sit in a room in the dark by themselves. They're probably like in their mama's basement, rigging up evidence. You know what I mean? They're probably too scared to actually be in a room with the lights out.
Yeah. So I mean,
and that pisses me off. I mean, and it's not on that note because I don't feel like I'm done talking about it. Because I feel like that these people are just really destroying the reputation of people that are really doing this for good. And then you take the skeptics and they listen to these people's bullshit. And what happens is the skeptics try to say, oh, okay, we know this is bullshit. Like the guy that's got the fucking moth who thinks it's a damn ghost.
Well, I mean, if you can't tell the difference between a moth, insect, dust, and an orb, well, you're really not in the right business. And then you're going to submit an EVP with heavy breathing. You're really not in the right business.
Yeah, we get a lot of submissions every day. And I don't know. I'm really disappointed. We only interview people that we consider to be real, the real deal. They have real evidence, and they're true companies. So anybody that you hear on the Tickle Trunk of Horrors is going to be the real deal. The people that's in their mama's basement faking evidence, yeah, we're not going to put you on here. So
you know, we really don't have time. We're too busy actually genuinely helping people through difficult situations. So please, we don't have time for these fairy tales. Please save yourself the energy and maybe just try and be a real person, be the real you instead of trying to be something you're not.
Because you're not going to catch something at every location you go to, especially if you just start out and you're too chicken shit to really be in the place by yourself. You know, you have to build up to it, you know. So if you want to be real, take your time, visit a few locations, and get the cameras rolling and the EVP recorders rolling. You will catch something. There's no need in sending us bullshit. And that just really, for us to be in the profession that we're in, that's just bullshit.
And, you know, just like our guest today said that they rely mostly on word of mouth for the business. Certainly somebody with an EVP of heavy breathing, you're not going to get word of mouth. All you're going to do is you're going to bring yourself down and everybody else that you associate with.
The Mothman, the little moth that you got on the camera there that just, you know, and I
mean,
it's
please
just like,
don't do a documentary on the Mothman and use that footage. Please don't.
Yeah, it's a real moth actually. It's not a spirit. And I mean, I don't know. It just gets under my skin because you take something that I mean, it's kind of like, if you find out that people are cheating in games, like pick a sport, pick a team, and you got people who professionally play, and then you find out people are actually cheating in it, which is what's happening in our industry, the paranormal industry. You have so much fake shit out there today that it's hard to find teams that are actually real. And if you want to find teams that are real, then guess what? Listen to our shows. We'll give you the real teams. So
we're gonna we're uncut, and we're gonna tell you exactly like it is, up close and personal. And if you can't stomach it, then it's time for you to exit the exit door, because we're not going to sugarcoat anything that we say. And if something is offensive, you know, we're the real deal. So, I mean, there's a lot of frauds out there.
Paranormal Research Society. And I'll tell you what, if you're offended by anything that we say, guess what? You can hit the stop button at any time. You do not have to listen to us.
It's not mandatory.
This is entertainment, and we present you the truth in the paranormal field. And if you don't like our shows, you do not have to listen to it.
But like I said, we are factual, and we are truthful, and we're certainly not going to defraud, sham anybody. And it doesn't matter if it's for $1 million. That's not what we're doing. What we're doing it for.
And the funny thing is, there's so many people that sent me fake EVPs. I know that this one person is going to wonder, are they all going to wonder, is he talking about me? and y'all all going to hope that I'm talking about you. But you don't know exactly who I'm talking about.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to give this person 15 minutes of fame or even 15 seconds of fame, because they're out there on a mission to defraud everybody in their path.
Well, quite a few people we talked to within the last 2 weeks anyway.
We're certainly not going to be on your hit parade. Just keep defrauding and just maybe jump off the planet.
That would be awesome, jumping off the planet.
And maybe film yourself and saying that it's
an apparition. If you could jump off the planet, film that for us, please.
And say it's
an
apparition.
Then we'll have you on the show.
We'll have you on the show. Yeah. But other than that, bye.
That's it.